Hi there, what's up? Hope all's good. The Lagom P80mm flat burrs. This is a brand new grinder. Pre-sale is gonna be in a few days. So depending on how you like it in this video, hopefully be able to give you a good picture understanding the grinder. Feel free to use our discount code, and thanks to Option O for trusting us sending this early sample unit. So without further ado, let's start. We personally are huge fans of Option O grinders. They tend really to have their authentic vibe when producing grinders. There's an upcoming video have been in the works for months, maybe almost a year. The Lagom 1 grinders. It's coming really soon, but we decided to go with all the burrs available in the market. It was a huge work for us, but still, stay tuned for that one. And we made a review of the, let's say, a little sister of this one, the Lagom P64. It was in the best flat grinder between $1,000 to $2,000. If you haven't checked, feel free to check that video. It was one of our best grinders options there. This is kind of initial feedback, but still, hopefully it will be sufficient to give you the bigger picture. So let's start. As for the build quality, it's slightly larger than the P64. It still has this beautiful anodized aluminum finish, and they've added buttons from the sides. So let's start with it. From the left side of the grinder, if you look closely here, right now you have two switches. So the first one, it's an on-off switch. So once you turn it on, the grinder will turn on and it will stay on. It won't turn off. It's a really quiet mode on the quiet side, and this is the lowest RPM. You turn it off. The top one is it's similar to the Lagom one. When you give it a push, it will turn the grinder on. Once it finishes, no coffee beans are left inside. It will ramp up the RPM to the max and turn off for around 5 seconds. Automatically turn off. So this is a wonderful feature that we loved in the Lagom one. Basically, you turn it on, you pour your coffee beans, it starts grinding. Once it finishes, ramp up the RPM and turn off. This is a very cool feature, and on the each day user experience, regardless espresso or filter coffee, it's a pleasure to use. They've added right now an adjustable RPM knob. So if we tilt the grinder, you can see the number. So this is the lowest RPM, which is at 300 RPM. And when you move, it won't stay like 350. It will jump instantly to 600, 900, 1100, 13, 15, and 17. It starts 300, then jumps another 300, another 300, then after that 200 increments. Some people might wish really to have that 50 RPM difference. Some people just want it as a fixed clicks. And by the way, it has clicks, which is cool in our opinion. But realistically speaking, I would say 200 RPM at the higher range, it's enough, it's sufficient. So because generally most people tend to prefer either let's go 300, 600, or in the mid-range 900, 1100, or the highest RPM. So let us know your thoughts about the RPM now. From the front, you have the famous portafilter / dosing cup fork. This section is designed for the portafilter, and this one is for the dosing cup. Slides right into place, and portafilter here also slides into place, and dosing funnel that fits the portafilter without affecting the portafilter fork, high enough to be close to the grinding chute. The grinding chute has two cool things. The first one, so just give it a knock from the top, and you knock out any retained coffee in the grinding chute. The second welcomed addition feature is that, let me tilt the grinder. So if you look closely, you can notice two needles for the plasma generator. So basically those two needles are connected to electrical current to eliminate static electricity, which was a major issue of the Lagom P64. Basically in that grinder, if you don't spray your coffee beans with water, coffee will be flying everywhere, creating static electricity during grinding. Here, if you see, they added some kind of plastic inner chamber inside the grinding chute, also to reduce the static electricity instead of fully metal from the inside. And the two needles, they move with the grinding chute. In order to test the effectiveness of the plasma generator, we used really dark oily coffee beans, and we made a test comparison. You can see here we tried medium roasted coffee beans and dark roasted coffee beans in espresso setting. Here you can see the difference, the effectiveness of the plasma generator. I wouldn't say it's the iconic, the best in the market. We tested better grinders, the plasma generator, but comparing the previous one with the Lagom P61 and here, It's wonderful. In filter coffee settings, standard electricity will be higher, generally speaking. Accordingly, we tested it with the dark roast, and we saw that still it's very effective, but inside the dosing cup you can see that ground coffee it's stuck there inside the dosing cup. So we compared it with spraying the coffee beans before grinding them, and it was wonderful. No ground coffee was stuck inside the dosing cup. So yeah, it gets the job done. Coming to the grinding dial, it's the same well-loved grinding dial. It's smoother than the Lagom one. I keep comparing it to the Lagom one because that's kind of the second tier and they grinders, and it's a nice comparison. With the Lagom one, it's stiff here. It's super smooth. As you can see, I'm holding it with 2 fingers. It's rotating, but it's not smooth to the point that it might drift during grinding. It's really stable and super easy to read. I like the numbers. They are well sized. Now let's go to the grinding chamber, show you the interesting stuff. So to reach the grinding chamber, you have this kind of collar that magnetically stays in place. You give it a twist from the side and it pumps out. It won't go out because it needs to be number 0 on the grinding dial. So if you're at number 1, you lift it slightly and you need to turn it to number 0 so you can lift it up. Once you lift it up, you have 2 Allen key screws here from the sides. You loosen them and you pull the grinding chamber. Speaking of, before showing you the grinding chamber, this will be after 3 kilograms of coffee without cleaning the grinding chamber, so you'll be able to see the retention inside of it. Let's loosen this. Provided Allen key, if you twist it, it will hit the hopper, and if you don't go this way, it will be much slower. So invest yourself in something like this set we got from Amazon. I'll leave a link for it in the description below. Just a set of Allen keys, much more enjoyable to use. So with these Allen keys, I can hold it in place and give it rotation. It won't be hitting the hopper. Just faster pace, let's say. So you lift the grinding chamber, and you might notice when you are lifting it, it's stiff. This is mainly because the machining quality is very highly aligned. There's not a lot of room for the upper burr carrier to move around. Oh, we lift it, and once we lift it, you can see those 80mm Meissen burrs with their interesting burr geometry. So the final cutting surface, it's kind of similar to the multi-purpose burrs, but they've added this elevations from the inner side to work with the lower burr with the inner pre-breaker here. So you can see they've added pre-breaker / auger in the middle with those tiny elevations, kind of giving you like extra consistency in the pre-breaking mechanism. In order to reach these blind burrs, there are 2 options: the super easy way or the hard way. Now the hard way will be to unscrew these Allen screws to lift the entire upper adjustment collar and give the upper burr push from the screws on the back because it has holes if you want to install 80mm burrs with holes in them. The easy way, which is getting those 2 tiny magnets, you can find them on Amazon. We went to Amazon, we bought them, then we got in touch with Option O and asked them what would be the appropriate way. They recommended these. They were already heading their way. So these 2 tiny magnets, around $10. You just hold them on the sides of the burrs, they stick to it, and with a few fingers you stabilize the upper burr carrier. With thumb you lift, give it a slight twist because it's really tight fit, tight tolerance, like front and back, and you reached the burrs. That's it. Upper meaning the upper burr carrier, 80mm burrs, Option O. From the front, those are the burrs. As for the burr carrier, you can see it from here. It has those 3 pins as stabilizing points for the burr carrier. The magnets, they are large in size, ensuring that the burrs are really well fixed. And you can notice while you are at it, those 2 holes with a thread from the inside that allows you to put burrs with screws. So here I have 2 burr sets from SSP Burrs, the high uniformity burrs, 1 set as blind, 1 with screws. So let's test them together. This one, the blind one, so if we put it in the burr carrier, give it a twist, it went in place. Perfect fit. Front back, and they're out. Now the ones with the screws, you cannot install them until you remove the 3 stabilizing pins for the blind burrs. Let's remove them together. These stabilizing pins, they are really stiff and you will feel that they are not being removed, but they are. Just be careful. If you look closely, it has slight hint of the blue thread lock. That's why it was stiff in place. And here we got the second one and the third one. So we just figured things out, and usually figure these things out prior to the review, but we really wanted to get this one early for you to be able to make your purchase decision. But yeah, let's speak about it. So we have 4 burr sets from SSP Burrs. Ones with screws. So if you look here, we have the Lab Suite and the High Uniformity. Both of them has screws. And we have the Lab Suite blind and the High Uniformity blind. The blind ones fits perfectly. The ones without the screws, they don't fit. It's really like they won't even go down. The Lab Suite burrs, they went down, but they were very hard to get out. So right now they went down, but it's a very tight fit and you might be risking of getting them stuck. So as a feedback or a data for you, we have here a very high aligned measuring tool from a Japanese company called Mitiyoto. So this is kind of the gold standard in machining measuring tools. We utilized it in the best dampers video that we made a couple of years ago. And we're gonna measure the difference in width between the blind burrs and the ones with the screws. Just if you are deciding to buy different burrs so you can have an idea. So the option O burrs measures at 79.85, whereas the blind burrs from SSP, the Lab Suite, measures at 79.84. High Uniformity burr from SSP measures at 79.83. The High Uniformity with holes, it's 79.94 millimeter. So it's around like 10 millimeter, 0.10 millimeter extra. The Lab Suite with holes, let's see. So it's 79.87. Yeah. So like 0.05 to 0.10 microns difference in width will play a huge role in allowing you to fit those burrs in. As I mentioned, we'll be testing all the burrs, the interesting ones, and sharing feedback in a future video. So stay tuned for that one. But hopefully this one was helpful in giving you like the basic knowledge about burrs fitting. I would say personally the only burrs with screws that I would like to test with this grinder is the ones from the E80 by Malkonig. Feel free to check that review. Those are super delicious burrs in their own unique way. They have even different burr characteristic to the SSP Lab Suite. This is the grinding chamber. You can see this is after 3 kilograms of coffee beans. To give you a better perspective, let's take the burrs out. Yep. This is the burr carrier. This is the inner grinding chamber. Let's turn it on. Don't do this at home, just for the purpose of showing you on the video. Let's go at the lowest RPM. So if you listen to the RPM, basically this is at the lowest RPM, and listen, when the grinder turns on, it kind of gives it like maybe half a second of slight ramp up on the RPM, then goes down. Listen. Yeah, this is mainly, I think, because if some people like had the grinder at a cold start, they poured the beans, then they turned it on, just like giving it an extra easy way, high RPM, then go down. Yeah, let's put the burrs back in place and speak about taste-wise. Before speaking about taste-wise, let's show you how it sounds while grinding coffee beans. So we're gonna, this is at 0, I'm gonna put it at around 1. I'm gonna put it at 900, which we found ourselves preferring, and pour some coffee beans. Finished grinding, a few knocks, And if it's already on and you want to have the highest RPM, just give this 2 pushes. And to go back to the normal RPM. That's it. Everything's out. So this is how it sounds in grinding coffee beans. Regarding taste-wise, if you aim to start the comparison with filter coffee with some grinders, it might be easier approach than going when comparing an espresso. So I'm gonna start speaking about the taste-wise in filter coffee because it's easier to taste, let's say less condensed drink to taste compared to filter coffee. The initial one was Geisha coffee beans from Fried Hats. It had highlighted tasting notes, the first one as orange jam. And when I had this one side by side at the option on 102mm Meisenbergs, initially at the first few sips, or let's say even like after testing them, not initially, I surprisingly felt this one is cleaner, and it's for valid reason. So the Meisenbergs 80mm tend to give you very juicy filter coffee, and as that tasting note was orange jam, it was much juicier in the mouth compared to 102mm from Lagom 1, up to the point like this juiciness with rounded acidity and the complexity in the cup gave us a hint of feeling that it's even cleaner than the Meisenbergs, surprisingly. But that's why you never should taste with only one coffee beans. Then we tasted coffee beans from Onyx Coffee Labs. They are extremely light roasted coffee beans, super nice, fermented ones. At that point, we really felt the option on Lagom 1 with the 102mm Meisenbergs was the crisper, the cleanest, almost like crystallized cleanest, let's say, in the cup. But having a sip from this one, you do get juicier mouthfeel up to the point like you have more saliva in your mouth, if that makes sense. It was sweeter, rounder acidity, juicier, super enjoyable. But if you are a person who love like extreme clarity, of course, like the 102mm Meisenbergs, they are not the highest clarity. They're still the one from SSP, coming soon, speaking about them. But still, side by side, that one, yeah, it's cleaner, it's crisper. But this one, personally, we enjoyed it very much. Up to the point, like, compared back to that Geisha coffee beans, we felt it's even cleaner because it tends to give you that juiciness, rounder acidity, even slight higher sweetness. It really lives up to the expectations. Blind Burr's 80mm in filter coffee, super tasty. Now it comes to espresso. In espresso shots, you can feel that those large burrs are giving higher extraction yield. Espresso shots were denser. Comes back to this, it's more balanced. If the coffee was sweet, I would say on par with sweetness. Body wise, they were really hard to distinguish between them, but like the main idea when testing them, both of them are super enjoyable. Just the one from the larger burrs, it's cleaner, denser tasting notes. This one, rounder, more complex, very enjoyable. So as an initial feedback, I hope this is enough for you. I'm not gonna dive too much into details for 2 reasons. One, we really did not get that much time to test it, all different coffees, the same categories. Like we always aim to test dark roast, medium roast, light roasts. But as an initial feedback, we love these burrs. They really live to the expectations. And yeah, that's it for the initial feedback. So all in all, to recap this video up, adjustable RPM with the clicks. I personally like the click feel. The on-off switch from the side, super welcomed. Auto shut-off feature. The knocker. Your fingers might slip on the grinding chute, but like from my stand, like if you're using it from the front with your thumb, I really cannot at this moment think of anything negative about the grinder. Maybe in the final review I will share some feedback, but as is for now, I cannot see anything negative about it. Maybe I have a thing like I want the electric power cable from the back to give me the ability to remove it and connect it again, not to be fixed. That could be a drawback. But apart from that, beautiful, great work, option O. So yeah, feel free to benefit from our discount code. It's for limited time. And as always, huge thanks to you in the first place for watching our content and enjoying them. Yeah, take care. See you very soon. Bye. There's not a lot of room for the hopper